Okay, yeah, so as I said, today is lesson 8. Let me share the screen with you guys. Tuesday. Yeah, today is indeed Tuesday. Let's get into it. Yeah, so today is lesson 8, and we have some really cool vocab here today, as well as some other things that we're going to be talking about. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get into it. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Can you guys? Hello? Hello, 1, 2, 3. Is the microphone good? Is the microphone good? Please tell me it's good. Hello? Hello? Okay, I think it's fine. Sorry, one moment. I'm checking out. Bruh. Okay. I think we're fine. Sorry, I was making sure that my microphone is working. I think everything is good. Yeah, okay, let's just get into it. Let's go. First is acid rain. In general, all of this vocab is going to be like environment, weather, and a little bit connected with like biological stuff, like for example, acid rain, biodegradable. Mainly it's environmental topics. So acid rain is like, I'm not a scientist, but from what I understand, the way that acid rain works is like you have, clouds in the sky, right? And what happens is whenever these clouds get filled with, there's like water in the clouds, right? And one of the properties of water is that water can really easily like interact and connect with any other thing, right? And so what happens is all these like gases from burning coal and from burning like biodegradable, from burning fuels, all of that flies into the air, it goes into the clouds, and then it stays there. And then whenever the clouds start raining, whenever the water comes down, what happens is you get to see all of those chemicals go with the water. So basically acid rain is like one of the most dangerous types of rain. Yeah. So let's continue. Biodegradable. Biodegradable is when something can degrade naturally. Sorry, decay naturally. I mean, degrade is also like one of the ways that it works. But basically, no, that's not good. Yeah. Something is able to decay naturally, which means that it can basically dissolve by itself. So, like, for example, if you make like a piece of paper and then you throw it into the forest, then after some time the piece of paper will disappear. It will, like the insects will eat it, and it's degradable. Paper is degradable. But if you take a plastic bottle, nothing in the environment eats the plastic. No bacteria, no nothing. So basically biodegradable basically means that like it is, the environment can take it away. Yeah. Compost is basically, compost is the stuff that farmers use whenever they want to make their plants live better, right? It's kind of like, there's a word for it. I guess the word is compost. Yeah, compost basically. Yeah, so compost is like basically the I'm not a farmer, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. Compost is the stuff that you use for plants, right? In order to make the plants grow better. That's it. Yeah. I'm not sure whether this topic will come up and you'll use the word compost, but it's possible. Let's continue. Contaminate. I'm going to try to focus on the words that are going to be useful for you, because most of the words that are difficult for me to explain are words that you don't really need. Like, for example, compost. Like, I can explain it technically, but it's just not a very useful word. So, yeah. Contaminate is a great word. I recommend you to use it. It basically means to make something of a lower quality by making it less pure. So for example, water, right? Like if you take water and you add like chemicals into the water, you add poison into the water, for example, you add like metal or lead or whatever kind of like bad materials, the water is contaminated. It's not as clean. So contaminated is the opposite of clean, basically. Yeah, and the opposite version of contaminate, you can say decontaminate. That means to take away the contamination. So yeah, cool vocab, really nice. If you're going to be talking about environment, you should probably use this word. Disposal comes from the word dispose. Dispose means to get rid of something, like throw something away, throw something out. Basically means to like to throw something away. Basically, I think it makes sense. The difference is like when you dispose of something, you are focusing on the fact that it is being reused, I guess. Not necessarily reused, but that it's safe. Like I'm going to dispose of this battery. That means that you are going to make sure that the battery goes to the right place. But if you say, I'm going to throw this battery away, it basically just means you take the battery and you go, whoop, and you can't usually do that with batteries because they're going to explode and stuff like that. So yeah, let's continue. Dumped. Dumped comes from the word dump, and it means to put down or drop something in a careless way. Another way that we can use this in terms of the environment is to dump something, like to dump. And just in general, the word dump. A dump is a place where things go whenever they're not needed. It's kind of like a big place with a lot of trash. It's called a dump, and you can dump something, which means like to throw it away, basically. So like, I dump all my trash into the nearby dumpster. That's actually the same place that the word dumpster comes from. Dumpster. So, yeah. Let's continue. Food miles. That is an interesting topic. I haven't actually researched this, but I hear that this is like a very big area of research, at least, especially in the US, where it's like, if you calculate how long it takes for somebody to get to their food and then to get back, you can actually calculate how much pollution that is producing. Because, sometimes like if you want to get your food, you have to go a very long way to get that food. And so that is not a good thing. Of course, I think that kind of makes sense. So yeah, food miles is kind of like that whole idea, but I'm not sure that I can explain it very well. So if you're interested, you should research that. Next is leech. Leech. I have no idea what is leech. I don't know. This is probably an interesting thing as well. But as I said, I'm not a scientist. So yeah. Microplastics. Microplastics are a couple different things. First of all, it is the stuff used in cosmetics. There's a lot of different, glitter, for example. That little, small pieces of plastic, and when you shine the light on them, they look like they are, changing the colors. It looks like it's, really beautiful, glitter. It is actually made of thousands and millions of tiny, tiny pieces of plastic. And whenever they go into the environment, they get into your food. Right? Whenever we throw out all this plastic, it doesn't decompose. It doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there, or it moves to other places. And it goes into the water. It goes into the things that we use to make our food. Like, for example, imagine you have a town where they make a lot of glitter, right? And then all that glitter goes into the water supply from which the bread is made. So now they're making this bread with thousands of tiny small pieces of plastic. And then we eat the plastic. You're eating plastic. Microplastics is a very big kind of dangerous topic. It's also a very big environmental problem. I recommend you to study microplastics because I know a bit more about this information than about leach and food miles. So I can tell you the microplastics is very dangerous. But the worst part about microplastics, the most terrible part, this is for me very scary. We don't know actually just how bad it is. Maybe it's not bad at all. Maybe it's okay that we're eating plastic. But maybe our lives are becoming significantly shorter because of it. We don't know. So microplastics is a kind of a new problem. Typhoon. Typhoon is a typhoon is similar to a tornado, basically. So if you guys know what is a tornado, it's when there's air and it goes whew, whew, shoo, 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 and then it destroys everything, right? That's a tornado. But a typhoon is similar, except it is on the water, right? So when you have a little circular thing and it starts on the water, but then it goes to the land, that's called a typhoon, as far as I remember. And if it's on the water and it stays on the water, it's called a cyclone, I think. Let me actually Google that just to be sure. This is a type of it's a type of environmental problem, I guess, environmental disaster. Environmental, I guess, thing. Cyclone is when large mass of air rotates around the strong center of low atmospheric pressure. Tropical cyclone. Okay, and what about a typhoon? Typhoon. Aha. Yes, so that's whenever whenever the cyclone starts on the water and then it moves on the land, that's called a typhoon. Whenever it stays in the water, it's called a cyclone. And whenever it is there's no water, it's just on the land, that's called a tornado. Tornadoes are really scary, guys. Oh my God. If you would have seen one of those, tornadoes are scary as heck. I'm really happy that they don't have them here. You usually don't have tornadoes in places with a lot of mountains. You have them in like flat places. There's a place in the U.S. called like Tornado Alley where all the flat states are, like Kansas, etc. And it's like there's a lot of tornadoes there because everything is really flat. It's like mainly prairies and stuff. So yeah, not fun. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue our lesson. A lesson continue. Blatantly littering. Blatantly littering. I think the main thing that you need to know is the word blatantly. But let's say this word together. I think blatantly. Well, you can say blatantly. What? Oh. Okay. Yeah, you can say blatantly with like TAT, but the way I usually say it is blatantly. And like it sounds stupid, but this is the way that Americans, and I mean most every like native speaker, this is the way that all native speakers speak, because what they do is they take like the sounds that are difficult to say and they make them more simple. So instead of saying blatantly, which is like long, you can say blatantly. Blatantly. Let's actually practice that together. Let's say like the syllable, and then let's say it all together. So let me say it, and then you repeat. Blatantly. So yeah, cool word. Blatantly means very clearly. Very clearly in like an appalling way, right? Like, so for example, imagine like in your country, there's a law that says you cannot throw trash into the street. And somebody's just walking on the street and they take a bottle and they just throw it. That is blatantly littering. Like they don't care about the law. They don't care about being secret. Like they're not doing it secretly like this. They're just taking it and they're just throwing it. So that's called blatantly littering. And littering is a synonym for like throwing trash. So yeah. Let's continue. Yucky, disgusting. Yucky. The word yucky as a whole, I think that's the main word here. Because disgusting, I think, makes sense. Yucky is a synonym of the word disgusting. Yucky basically means like not, not cool, I guess. Not nice. Yucky basically means gross, and it's a synonym of the word disgusting. Hey, Shahzad, how are you doing? What's up? Dude, guys, look, Shahzad has premium now. Shahzad is premium. Whoa, Shahzad. Whoa. How are you, Shahzad? Can you hear me? Yeah, his mic is muted, guys. He can't hear me. That's it. Shahzad? Okay. It is what it is. Let's continue. The prevalence of plastic. The prevalence of plastic, I think the main word here is prevalence. Prevalence comes from the word prevalent, which means very popular. For example, in some kind of society, you can say that like environmental problems are now prevalent, which means they are prevailing, which means they are very popular, I guess. Yeah, prevalent basically means like popular or very important or something big. Like they are basically big. Yeah. Let's continue. Let's continue to the next word. Insufficient recycling. Insufficient recycling comes from the word insufficient, which means not enough. I think that kind of makes sense. The word sufficient is also a very nice word that you should learn. Sufficient means enough. It doesn't mean like a lot. It just means enough, basically. Yeah. Let's continue. Improper disposal. Improper disposal comes from the word improper. Proper means like normal, correct. Improper means not correct, not good. So improper disposal is when like you throw something away, but not the correct procedure. Like for example, batteries, right? Let's say batteries. A lot of times the way that you're actually supposed to deal with batteries is you give them to a battery like center and they recycle them or they do something with them. I don't know. I'm not like a recycling man. But if you just throw the battery away into the trash, they can explode. They can do terrible things because batteries shouldn't be connected with like water for a long time. So that is called improper disposal, like incorrectly throwing away something when it shouldn't be thrown away like that. Major plastic pollution crises. Crises. One second. Crisis. So crisis. God damn it. Crisis. This is the singular. Crisis. This is the plural. Crises. So basically, crisis means like some kind of big problem, right? And so major plastic pollution crises is talking about all of the problems, like in all of the major cities, like, New York, Tashkent can be that a lot of a lot of American cities. Thankfully, not Japan. I think Japan has kind of fixed that. But basically, a lot of different problems. What? A lot of different countries have the same problem where a lot of the major cities where everybody lives, there's just plastic everywhere. So that is what this is referring to. I have a question real quick. Shahzad, please say hi if you can hear me. Can you please explain like the next word, or I don't know, talk about something, talk about the main idea of today? I need to find my headphones because I cannot hear anyone. So can you like talk for a bit and then I'll be back. Yeah. Shahzad? Shahzad? Shahzad?
Oh, yo.
Say something? Okay, yeah, I can't hear you because I don't have my headphones.
Yo.
So, yeah. Just explain something, please, and then I'll be back
What's
after
wrong
like
with my
one.
connection?
I can't hear you, bro. Are you talking? Is everything okay? I think it's fine. Yo, did he leave? Is he here? Shahzad? What? Did he just leave? Bruh. I can't hear anything. This is really sad. Okay, let me continue talking for a bit. Hopefully Shahzad will come back soon. I miss him. Yeah. Okay. Next is the next word will be environmental impact. So environmental impact is the idea or kind of the topic connected to the situation when like the things that we do to the environment, they cause problems for the environment. So for example, like the environmental impact of producing shoes. Like whenever we make so many different parts, so many different pairs of shoes, how does that affect the environment? What kind of impact does it have on the environment? And you can talk about environmental impact on any kind of like thing that we're doing as people. In general, the word impact just means like the effect that it has on something. Next is decompose. Decompose is the synonym of the word decay. Basically, it means to become into nothing, right? The word compose, I'm going to actually underline that. The word compose means to be a part of something, right? Like, for example, compose a piece of music means to make music from all of these little parts, like make a composition. Decompose means to take away all of the parts and make it into nothing, right? So composition is when it's like a lot of things into one. Decomposition is when a lot of things into nothing. So yeah, basically decompose means to, in the environment especially, to become nothing. Yeah. Seep into the ground, very good phrase. Seep is the key word here. Seep basically means to slowly and little by little go into the ground, like in all these different parts. So like seep into the ground, you can say, for example, like plastic is seeping into the ground. It means that plastic is like going into the ground. Yeah. Or like you could say like, water, dirty water is seeping into the ground. So yeah. Trapped in bags or cans. This means that something that cannot move away or move out of bags or cans. I'm not sure what this is talking about, but yeah. Swallowed by marine inhabitants. Let's break this down. This is a great phrase. Marine inhabitants. Marine inhabitants is talking about like people who live in the ocean. So, for example, turtles, fish, different kinds of other animals. Marine basically means connected to the sea. Inhabitants means people that are living somewhere. Swallowed means to like go like this, like whoop. So whenever they eat all of this plastic, they are swallowing it because they're not necessarily eating it. They're just like, it goes into their body. So that's called swallowing, and swallowed by marine inhabitants means like consumed by marine animals. Like animals ate a lot of plastic. And I mean, in general, this is also a very big problem. Animals eat plastic a lot. Okay. I think Shahzad should be able to take over quite soon, hopefully. All right. Let's continue. Oh, this is a very nice word. Exacerbating. I think that's the way we say it. Let me check. Let's Google to make sure. Let's Google. I think it's exacerbating. I'm just trying to make sure because I don't want to, misinform you guys. Exacerbating pronoun. Ah.
Exacerbating. Exacerbating.
Exacerbating. The let me show you 1 sec. The key syllable is za, so it's exacerbating. Kind of a difficult word, but it's a very, very good word. It'll give you a lot of points for your academic for your lexical resource score. So exacerbating means to make something worse. So exacerbating health issues are health problems that are becoming worse. But you can also use this to talk about like environmental problems, exacerbating environmental problems. And in general, the word exacerbating is great when you talk about something becoming worse. Non-disposable means something that was not created to be thrown away after use. So for example, batteries are non-disposable. Let me see if there's any other things. What things are non-disposable? Yeah, like bamboo, straws, wood, things. Concrete is non-disposable. A lot of different chemicals and liquids and fluids connected with a lot of chemicals connected with construction are actually non-disposable. So yeah, for sure. Let's continue. Next is going to be reusable containers. Reusable containers are containers that can be used again or like more than once. So for example, if you have a one of those plastic like little boxes for food, you can open it, take the food out, put something else in and close it and then like use it again and again. So that is basically reusable. So this is a great word. Let's see, we've got a bit more words. Okay, well, let's move on to idiomatic language, and then if we have extra time, I'm going to move on. In general, I recommend you to learn all these words. Really good vocab here. So yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Dumping ground. So we're going to move on to some idiomatic language, some collocations. Is collocations written 2 L's? Is it 1 L or 2 L's? Am I? 1 second. Collocation. Collocation. What? Excuse me? Is it? What? What? We need to Google this. I'm 99% sure that it's collocations with 2 L's. No. Am I stupid? Collocation. Yeah, collocation is 2 L's. Okay, good. We're fine. Don't worry. There's a guy who makes these makes the design for this, so he makes mistakes sometimes. Don't worry about it. Everything is okay. Yeah, dispose of. Dumping ground. Let me explain this. So dumping ground is like if you remember, I told you the word dump, right? It's a place where they throw all the stuff. Dump is the non-formal way to say it. So like whenever we're talking to your friends, you can say like, oh, I went to the dump recently to throw away my old microwaves. Dumping ground is the formal word for this. So this is the word that you use to describe like the place where they throw out all of that trash. As I said, a synonym of the word dump. Yeah. Let's continue. Dispose of. So we've already gone over the word dispose, but dispose of is used whenever you are talking about. It's used in the same situations, but basically more formal. It sounds a bit better. So yeah. Let's continue. Get rid of. Get rid of basically means to find a way to make someone leave because because you do not want the person to be with you any longer. That is one of the definitions. So as always, the words that are here in this section where we're talking about collocations as well as idiomatic language, they can be used in a lot of situations. So get rid of, you can talk about like people. So you can say like get rid of him or get rid of her. It means like to not talk with them anymore. But also get rid of can be used to talk about trash. So whenever you're throwing something out, you can say I need to get rid of these batteries. I need to get rid of my computer. Like it means to throw it out somehow. Yeah. Or to basically not necessarily to throw it out, but to not have it anymore. That's the main thing. Like you can sell it and that also means get rid of it. So get rid of just means you will not have it anymore. And there's different ways for that to happen. Toss away and throw out, two great phrasal verbs, which basically both mean to throw something out. The difference is toss basically means to throw it away carelessly, like, you know, you have something and you throw it like that. That is toss. Whereas throw out just means to not have it anymore, not necessarily to throw it like this. Now, finally, a great idiom, which I really, really like. It's not really an idiom. It's kind of an idiom 50-50. To add insult to injury. Basically, it means like there's like some kind of problem, right? There's some kind of bad situation. And whenever you're making the situation worse, you are adding insult to injury. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, it's already injured, but you're also insulting the person or something like that. But basically, yeah, cool phrase. I recommend you to use it. Give me a second. Let's do this. For today's topic, we're going to be talking about how to reduce plastic pollution. In general, there's like a lot of information connected to this, which is what we're going to be watching the video about today because I need to rest my throat. But basically, here are some tips about how to like stop creating pollution yourself. And let me show you a video about this same topic. If you give me a second. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to choose 3 topics, and I'm going to post a poll into the channel right now, into the group, actually. And I want you guys to choose which topic is more interesting for you. So, yeah. Okay, ocean plastic pollution, noise pollution, trees. Oh, enough. Okay, so here are the topics. I'm going to wait for a couple seconds while you guys choose whichever topic is most interesting for you, and then I'm going to show you the video that is about that. So let's get right into it. It's in the course, Speaking Course 2 channel right now. So cast your votes, make your choices, da 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 da. Okay, so I think we're about good. Sorry for the delay. Here is the question. Sorry, here's the video that I'm going to be showing you guys. I think everyone's mainly interested in ocean plastic pollution, so I'm going to show you that video. We're not going to watch the. We're not going to be watching the whole video, but we're going to be watching the main ideas. This is a channel that I kind of like. 1 moment. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay. Difficult. Yeah, here we go. Okay, and now you should be able to hear system audio, so let's get into it. Okay. Raise your hand if you can hear the audio.
You know those plastic stickers that they put on apples? What do you do with that sticker? Do you always walk it over to a trash can, or you just kind of flick it off onto the floor of your car where it ends up stuck to your shoe and then tracked onto the street, and then maybe when it rains it finds its way down a sewer grate and onto a stream and then a river and then the ocean, where it bobs along until it meets all its little plastic brothers and sisters at the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Well, now, hopefully you feel sufficiently guilty and will watch the rest of this episode. A lot of our trash hangs out in the North Pacific in an area called the North Pacific Gyre. A gyre is a big system of ocean currents that collide to form a kind of vortex. The North Pacific Gyre is one of the biggest, and it's also considered one of the world's largest ecosystems because A, it's 20 million square kilometers, and B, because living things congregate there. Some because they literally can't swim out of it, and others because the gyre is where all the action is. It's like a giant ocean corral. But not only does it corral plants and animals, it also corrals trash. The North Pacific Gyre bears the illustrious distinction of also being the world's largest landfill, except that it's not on land. Now, whenever I talk to people about the garbage patch, they seem to imagine it as like a giant Texas-sized floating island of trash. But that's not what it is. If it were, it would be a lot easier to study and a lot easier to clean up. Instead, the patch is actually two huge areas with high concentrations of trash suspended in the water on the east and west sides of the gyre. The size of the area and the changing nature of the ocean makes it really hard to study, but there's at least 100 million tons of trash in the gyre, and that number can literally only increase. A lot of our garbage these days is not biodegradable, meaning that microbes that break down other kinds of refuse can't eat it. The plastics make their way out into the North Pacific, and then they start to photodegrade as the sunlight weakens the bonds in the plastic polymers, breaking them into smaller and smaller bits, and leaching chemicals like bisphenol A into the water. But though the energy of the sun is good at breaking stuff down, this stuff never disappears entirely. So we end up with microscopic bits of it suspended in the water column over hundreds and hundreds of miles of ocean. About 80% of this trash comes from land via powerful ocean currents that act as trash superhighways, but the rest comes from offshore oil rigs and commercial fishing and cargo ships. In fact, about 10% of the trash in the North Pacific is just free-floating fishing nets. Because what happens when you got a bunch of fishing nets floating around on the high seas? This. And this makes me very sad. Turns out that the combination of one of the largest ecosystems on Earth and a bunch of floating trash is not awesome. Sea turtles and other animals get entangled in the nets. Dead birds are being found with bellies full of gaskets and apple stickers. Plus, chemicals in the plastics make their way into the food chain and cause all kinds of problems for marine life. So yeah, not ideal. For what you can do, start out by putting your trash in the trash, even if it's just an apple sticker. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow. If you have ideas or questions, please leave them in the comments or on Facebook or Twitter. And if you want to keep getting smarter with us, you can go to youtube.com/SciShow and subscribe.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here, and when the pyramids of Giza
Oh,
were built...
Sorry, I came just in time. Okay, my apologies. Yes, I really like the guy who is actually... By the way, just so you guys know, this channel, I really recommend you guys to watch it. Whenever you have free time, if you really want to improve your English in a lot of ways, watch Vsauce. This channel makes a lot of really cool content. For example, this topic. How high can we build? What is the maximum height that we can make buildings? Interesting topic, and he has a lot of very cool ways to explain it. I think, wait, let me kind of show you a couple parts of the video. He shows about the history of big buildings. He explains some things. 1 second. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, this thing. This is I've seen this video I think 3 or 4 times. This is called a space elevator. So he says that the way that we can make the highest building ever is to literally make an elevator from the Earth to the moon. So yeah. Anyway, raise your hand if you liked this video, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This guy, the one who was presenting, I think he was speaking a little bit too fast, but in general, I really like him. His name is Hank Green, I think that's his name. He makes a lot of really cool, here, let me show you. Crash Course. That's actually John Green. 1 second. He's not Hank Green, John Green. He makes a lot of really cool...
Hi, I'm John Green.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. Wait a second. Are those two different people? Are those two different people? No. No. What? What? Oh. They're two different people. Oh, that's funny. I never noticed. They look exactly the same. Oh my god. Okay. Hank Green or John Green are two different people. Anyway, both of them are really cool. I like both of their channels. They make a lot of different content on YouTube. But basically, they explain different stuff. Hank Green makes these like TikToks where he answers different kinds of like topics, like YouTube Shorts as well.
Hi,
Anyway,
I'm
I don't
John.
know. It's just cool stuff. Sorry that this is taking up so much time. If you actually want to get good in English, and if you really want to like improve your fluency, and you want to sound like a native, the best way, the only way, if you want to do it quickly, is actually to watch these kinds of YouTube videos and just to kind of practice speaking the same way. Like repeat the phrases that they say. Watch with subtitles and try to learn as much as you can. Try to be interested in the content of what they're saying rather than just the fact that they're speaking English. And this can actually have very, very big results. Just kind of something for you guys to keep in mind, and like a helpful tip that I like to give students. Yeah. Let's continue to the next lesson. I'm going to do this and this and that. Okay. Yeah, so let's continue. Let me send also, I think you guys probably want to have the names, so let me send that as well. Vsauce, Hank Green plus John Green. Yeah. Just three very, very interesting science channels. And specifically, like for me, they always cover information that is very interesting outside of just English as a whole, like really interesting topics. So yeah, let's talk a bit about how you can reduce your own plastic waste. That is a very big thing that you can talk about. There's a lot of like different kinds of small topics. Like for example, soon on the channel IELTS with Alex 21, you will see there's going to be a question that is like, describe a time you saw a lot of plastic. That's like a question that I answered. And basically, what you're going to see is, what are you going to see? Basically, what you're going to see for that is you will see. My brain. Sorry, my apologies. I'm going to talk about like plastic, right? Plastic pollution, the Great Pacific Plastic Patch. Actually, the same topic as the video with John Green. And so basically, it's good to know information about this topic, and it's also good to be able to speak about it. So let's get to it. What is the first way that you can stop like producing plastic? One of the biggest reasons for pollution, not actually the biggest reason, but in terms of plastic pollution, one of the biggest reasons is disposable plastics. So this is the reason why nowadays a lot of people don't really use straws, or if they do, they use plastic. They use bamboo straws or like metal straws instead of plastic. This is the reason why a lot of the time, like companies make cardboard boxes instead of just plastic boxes for different phones and different kinds of products. It basically, because all of this plastic, you use it once and then it's just trash right away. There's no like in between. So that is why these products are not being used as much. Yeah. Next is stop buying water, specifically like water bottles, like Nestle or Hydrolife, all those kinds of bottles. Whenever you buy water in bottles, you are creating plastic that shouldn't be there, because you can have water from your tap, right? Like the sink, the place in your kitchen, right? The thing is, though, a lot of countries, like for example here in Uzbekistan, I know that it's not safe to drink water. So this probably isn't connected to you, but a lot of them are. So yeah, stop buying water basically means like, it means that there's a lot of plastic bottles that are going into the trash. Cook more. Whenever you are cooking, that is better for the environment than when you go to the restaurant. Especially like, for example, takeout. Like if you are going to a restaurant to take food to your house, that's creating plastic for no reason at all. So yeah, plastic or any kind of like stuff like that. Yeah. Secondhand items. Secondhand items, for example, electronic gadgets, toys, different kinds of like things. All of these have like pieces of plastic. They all have different things, shells, twisty ties, like pieces of plastic that are just everywhere. And then later down the line, those pieces of plastic end up in the ocean. They end up polluting and destroying the planet, basically. So these are the main these are the main ways that you can improve that is by like buying. Not necessarily improve it, but like to at least help. Because if you yourself do it, you're not going to be able to save the planet. But if everybody does it, that is going to be a very big effect. So it starts with you, of course. That's important to keep in mind. Let's continue. Put pressure on the manufacturers. This means like a lot of times. Actually, I haven't seen this here in Uzbekistan, but I know that in countries like in the U.S., in Europe especially, a lot of times what happens is like big companies, they start saying things like do people care? And so whenever people say like, okay, like, Nestle, we will not buy your bottles anymore if they're made of plastic. They have to be made of another material. They start thinking like, okay, we have to change the material, basically. So by making companies do these things, that is how things change, not just because, the companies want to change. The companies actually don't care at all. So keep that in mind. Let's continue to the next topic, which is recycle when possible. This one makes sense. And lastly, hold the Tatar beach clean. This is kind of like in Tashkent how you have like Hashar Week. So it's kind of the same way. So yeah, these are some ways that you specifically can affect the planet, and you can kind of help the planet. Keep these topics in your mind and try to kind of learn more information about them. I feel like that's a very good idea because there's a lot more things that you can talk about in terms of all of this. So yeah, let's get into. My apologies. Let's get into it. I need to find my headphones. Give me like 1 second, and then we're going to get to the speaking part. I still cannot find them all. I actually cannot play the audio unless my headphones are plugged in, so that's why I really need to find them. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try to use these headphones. If they don't work, my best solution will be to cry. So let's test it out. Okay, I'm going to unmute somebody just to say something. Let's say Sobirov Javahir. Please say hi if you can hear me. Sobirov Javahir. Yellow? No. Okay. Please say something. Sobirov Javahir. Okay, Ibrat, please say hi if you can hear me. Yellow. Ibrat. Hello? Okay. Muslima, please say hi if you can hear me. Muslima, unmute yourself and say hello if you can hear me.
Hello.
Yes, it works. Okay, these headphones are like, 2 years old. I did not know whether they would work or not. They work, only this headphone now. Thank you, Muslima. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to be choosing 3 people for today. Please raise your hands if you want to help me for the speaking part of today. I assume you want to help, Muslima, but please mute yourself. Okay.
Hold on a minute. Please. Hold on a minute.
Yep. Here you go, Dior Beck and Caleb. Caleb? Okay. So 3 of you, please mute yourself and don't say anything until I call on you. Muslima, please mute yourself.
Alex,
hey, guys.
Stop. Please. Can you please do it one more time? I will just leave and then again let's join, okay?
Sure.
Because
no
your voice
okay.
is really low. Okay.
Okay, so here we go. Where's Caleb? Okay, Caleb, Diorbek, and Muslima. So the 3 of you are going to be helping me today. So we're going to be doing the questions, and then while I am answering, I want you guys to listen for the words that I'm saying as well as the ideas that I'm using. And then I want you to tell me what those words are, and then we're going to be discussing. So yeah, let's get into it. Please keep yourselves muted, the three of you, until I call your name. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get into it. Describe a time when you saw a lot of plastic waste. As I said, this is actually the topic that is going to be on the channel today, so follow for that. But yeah, I'm not going to write it down because I already spoke it, so I'm going to be just answering from memory. So, Muslima, Caleb, Durbek, please listen right now and listen and follow along, and I want you to write down the vocabulary that you hear as well as the ideas that I'm saying. So, yeah, here we go. I would like to tell you a bit about a time when I saw a lot of plastic waste. And this time was about, I think, a couple of years ago. I learned about this phenomena, this very big problem, which is called the Great Pacific Plastic Patch, which is like this large area of the ocean, the Pacific Ocean specifically, where there is a lot of plastic floating in the ocean. And for me, it's a very like kind of painful situation, because I know that a lot of animals that live in the sea, they are endangered, and because of the fact that there's just plastic floating in the ocean that they think is food, you know, like these animals, they've never had contact with plastic. They don't actually understand the concept and the idea of plastic. They just know that there's something that looks shiny, it looks edible, it looks tasty, and they go for it and they eat it. And then because they cannot digest it, because it's plastic, of course, rather than actual food, they start dying, they start getting diseases and becoming sick. And these like rare animals, for example, like there's a species of turtle which is called I think like a snapping turtle. They're so rare, but because of the fact that they're eating plastic, because of us people, they are dying by the millions. And I think that's a terrible situation. In general, I've been thinking about different ways that I could help. And I'm not sure whether there's anything I can do. I mean, of course, I try my best to, reduce my plastic use. I don't buy any new electronics. I always buy electronics secondhand. I try my best not to buy any water bottles, and I try my best also to not use any disposable plastics. I really do try to put in my part. I try to kind of help the planet where I can. But I know for a fact that it's not something that will solve itself. It will take a lot of time and a lot of effort from the whole world. So the Great Pacific Plastic Patch is one of the worst situations of plastic waste that I've seen in my life. So there we go. Good. All right, let's get into it. Durbek, please say hello and tell me, what vocabulary did you hear me use? Da da dee da dee dee da. Durbek, please say hi. I cannot hear you, I think. Okay, let's move on to the next person. Caleb, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hi.
Yo, so what vocabulary did you hear me use?
So I catch the whole part. So Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So phenomena also. And endangered. Fish don't understand the concept of the plastic, I guess. Dying out, edible, contaminated. So disposable plastic, and put my part. That's it.
Very nice. Another way that you can actually say it is, I actually made a bit of a mistake. It's technically still correct. Like, there's no mistake with the phrase "put in my part," but the correct phrase is "do my part." This is the most like popular collocation. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So again, Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This is like the concept. It's the video that we watched. Phenomena is a word that is used to describe some kind of like situation, some kind of big like problem, I guess, phenomena. Endangered is a type of animal that is close to dying. Don't understand the concept means like they don't understand something. Like specifically, I was talking about turtles that don't understand plastic. Dying out means like going extinct. I'm actually going Going extinct. It means like going to die soon. Edible means something you can eat. Contaminated, we've talked about today. Disposable plastic, we also talked about today. And put in my part means to do something for the environment, like from yourself. So yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Caleb. Great vocab. Awesome. Muslima, tell me, what vocabulary did you hear? I tried my best to kind of make it very difficult. I used a lot of words. So yeah, tell me.
Second hand.
So, plastic patch, plastic floating, painful
Wait,
situation.
slowly. I'm gonna write all of it down. So yeah, plastic what?
You were speaking faster than me. So, plastic patch, plastic floating, painful situation, demonishing, something like that. Rare animals, but it's too easy. Snapping something. They are doing this terrible situation. Try your best. Oh, I was just writing down your main ideas. So not really
Okay.
vocabulary.
Okay, tell me about what ideas did I use?
Oh, cool it is. Firstly, you start from giving general ideas about plastic patch, plastic floating, so pollution. So you were about the plastics. So, and you said that you were a witness of painful situation that rare and endangered animals have no concept of idea of plastic, and people just throwing them out, and these rare animals are eating them, don't having any clues and concepts about these plastics. So in this case, we are just in a result, we are just I'd say losing them. So, for example, snapping something. You said snapping something. I didn't catch it.
Snapping turtle.
Yes, turtle. Okay, they're just dying, and that's terrible situation. And in conclusion, you said that you'll try your best, try not to buy too much bottles, you want to use too much plastics. So there was hot ideas. Cool.
Cool, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. So this is kind of the flow of my speech. Awesome, very good, and great job. Okay, so dear Rebecca, we'll get back to you. Yes. So first of all, general idea about plastic patch. That's kind of what I started with. In general, talking about pollution. Then I talked about animals eating plastic. So what comes out of that? Animals eat the plastic. Then the animals die, and so now I want to not use plastic myself. And I used the same ideas from today's lesson that we talked about. Literally same ones. So, yes, and let's talk a bit about the vocab that I used. I'm not sure what plastic flooding is. I think I said something different. I can't remember. But painful situation just means like something that hurts. Like for me, I feel like it's sad. Rare animals, I think that kind of makes sense. Rare, or like you could say, endangered animals is actually a very good endangered collocation. So like this word right here, you can use it with animals. Yeah. And lastly, snapping turtle is a type of animal. Let me actually check if that's the right one or if I was lying. Snapping turtle. Okay. Are snapping turtles endangered? Okay. No. They're fine. Yeah. What? Yeah. Wait, what? In fact, alligator snappers are listed as threatened or... Oh, wow. That's actually unfortunate. Yeah. Snapping turtles are rare, but they don't live in the ocean, I think. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not a marine biologist. I don't care, to be honest. Yeah. What was this? So plastic flooding and diminishing. Are you sure these are the words that you heard?
Yep.
Okay.
Me also heard this word. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's
I guess it was floating, not floating. Floating.
Oh, yeah, floating plastic. That makes sense. Floating plastic. Okay, floating plastic means like plastic on the water. I think that's what I said, yeah. And lastly, what about diminishing? Is that what I said? Can't remember. Okay, it is what it is. Let's say it's diminishing. Diminishing basically means something that is becoming less and less. So diminishing is a synonym of the word decreasing. You can use this for writing test 1, I think. Anyway, yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Muslima. Diorbek. Diurbek Abdulmominov. Did you hear any vocab, my bro? My man, my dude, my person, my individual, my human, my bro. Okay, I think he's not here. I heard him say something, but then he muted himself. Okay, let's do some parts. Let's do some part 3. I guess like 1 or 2 questions. And okay, let's. Yeah, part 3. I'm gonna send this into the group. Okay, I'm gonna choose 3 different people. Once again, thank you so much to Caleb, Muslima, and Diurbek. Thank you guys. Let's do this. Michael and Fatohov. Please say hi if you can hear me, both of you. Michael and Fatohov. Say hello. Can you hear me? Michael? Michael! That's so sad. Okay, Shahnoza and... hey, what's up? Okay, hi. Can you say something?
No.
Okay, I cannot... Your microphone is a little bit terrible. How about you'll do this next time? Shahnoza, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, perfect. And Fatohov, please say hi if you can hear me. Okay, he's sleeping. My man is sleeping. I can't believe it. Sleeping in my IELTS course. Okay, El Murodova Nozli, please say hi if you can hear me.
Hello.
Hi, perfect, awesome. So you two, I want you to listen for the vocab and the ideas that I'm using. Mainly try to listen to vocab, like good words. I'm going to be answering the part 3 questions. Let's get into it. Please mute yourselves, both of you right now. Just mute yourselves so that I don't have to hear myself. Let's get into it. No, let's do it. Part 3. Let's do it. How can governments reduce plastic pollution? I think that this whole topic is very learned. It's very studied. A lot of people know that plastic pollution mainly comes down to the plastics that we use in daily life and also the ones that come from production. And I think that in order to reduce the plastics that come from daily life, governments should put some kind of tax on plastics that are used for takeout boxes. I think a lot of people that don't cook food for themselves should pay more money because they are destroying the planet with the plastics that are used in their delivery boxes and takeout boxes. My nose, oh my god. Okay, so, Nozli, what did you hear? Can you unmute yourself? Tell me, what vocabulary did you hear?
Okay, first of all, daily life. Take out boxes. Take out boxes. Destroying planning.
Okay.
Destroying planning. Daily life. Destroying planning. Okay,
What else?
that's all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Shahnaza?
Delivery boxes.
Okay.
And daily life and destroying the planet.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Takeout and delivery boxes. I was talking about like the stuff, the plastic stuff that is where they put your food whenever you're at a restaurant. Destroying the planet, I think that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully that was those are some pretty good answers. I think it wasn't bad. Yeah, that's it for today. Remember to do your homework and watch the videos. They are also great as usual. We learned a lot of useful vocab. Learn all this vocab as well. I don't think you have to write the sentences for it, but at least for these ones, you have to write the sentences. Learn the words that I underlined. So, for example, compose, decompose, seep, impact, proper, improper, sufficient, insufficient. Learn all of those. It'll be helpful for you. So, yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you. Let me finish the stream. Goodbye.